Today, we're going to talk about the solar system and the formation of the stars. So first things first, the formation of the stars is actually extremely similar to the sun, and not a lot of people know that, but there are actually 4 steps to achieving the end game of the star. And in the beginning, it actually starts out quite larger than you would imagine. It doesn't just appear as one little star in the sky. But fun fact, it does turn into a pancake shape before it morphs into its natural form. So the star truly does undergo lots of transformations. We're going to need interstellar gas, interstellar dust, a very low temperature surrounding the core of the star. We'll talk about that. Self-gravity and a molecular cloud, which is actually the surrounding part of the core. And that's where that cold temperature comes in. So on the schedule it's going to be an interstellar cloud, which is that really large entity in like the sky, I guess. And it's made up of many potential stars. And then it turns into a cloud fragment on day 2. We'll also talk about how that happens. And you can see all the gravity really just moving around the energy and heating it up in that core. And then on day 3, it turns into a protostar, and that's the pancake-like form where the self-gravity is really just pushing inward, and all that heat is kind of being pushed as at the center, and then the coldness is pushing out. And then on day 4, it reaches its highest density and heat, so it turns into its own genuine star. This is another representation. And here's a thermal image. You can see the core and the true heat at the center. That blue part is the molecular cloud. So this all starts by a supernova, which actually the energy or the waves from that supernova creates those fragments and allows them to break off. Those fragments eventually collapse, and that is when the self-gravity really starts to push inward and the protostar can come to life, which eventually forms a genuine star after it reaches its highest density and heat. And then those 2 factors actually allow it to survive on its own. Those individual genuine stars are still clustered, so they're not actually clumped together. Now they're just considered a cluster. They form near each other, but they're not attached or in the same cloud. Here's a small animation. The supernova hits the cloud and genuine stars are then produced. It takes about 10 million years for this process to happen, and each of these little individual circles and lines are actually the 4 steps. So here's a demonstration of how the interstellar cloud condenses after it's hit by a supernova, and then it breaks off those interstellar cloud fragments. And this is when it turns into that protostar pancake-like structure from that self-gravity, where you can see it's being pushed in and then down, kind of in all directions. And now it's its own genuine star once it is its highest heat and all that energy is really built up in the core. And that's how a star is formed in the sky. This is my works cited. Thank you.